Assalamualaikum and welcome to my Chemistry 131 case study video presentation. My name is Muhammad Danish Ishvan bin Abdul Rashid from AS124 and I'm guided by my lecturer, Madam Wan Farahiyah Wan Kamarudin. The topic that I have chosen as my primary is topic 1, artificial coloring. It is a color additive, a type of dye, pigment, or any type of substance that imparts color when it is added to food or drink. They come in various forms consisting of liquids, powders, gels, and pastes. Artificial coloring is used commercially for food production and also domestic cooking. Table of content. It mainly acts as a guide for me and the viewer to know what is coming next in my presentation, to make it more well put per se. Synopsis of my case study is as shown. I will be focusing on two main aspects. The first one is artificial coloring itself. Throughout the discussion, there will be 3 points of interest to be visited thoroughly. They are significant challenges, which are main problems, satisfying solutions, which are ways to be better and look further of the problems, and finally, substantial benefit, which are benefits of taking the step into a better life. The second aspect is mental health. Along my studies, I have found a big problem that went unnoticed of the public eye. It will be further explained in a bit. By learning the truth of artificial coloring, it will provide all of us the knowledge to understand and the application skills towards a better life. After thorough research, I have found that artificial coloring inflicts ADHD to children. Based on my findings, artificial coloring causes attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in children whether they have it or not to begin with. The researchers mainly originated from the United States of America, from the company of FDA, or better known as Food and Drug Administration. Other than that, majority of the processed food that contain colorings are from the States. Malaysia being an output of said country, we barely have any information of what we consume in our daily life. Let's start the discussion with the origin of artificial coloring. It originated in the early Egyptians where they used artificial colors in cosmetics and hair dyes. Other than that, wine was artificially colored around 300 BC. Meanwhile, in the nearer past, in 1856, William Henry Perkin discovered the first synthetic organic dye called mauve. As you can see, the bottom of my slide is filled with said flowers. They are quite appealing, and it makes sense for purple to be one of the first dye since there are not much purple colored food at the time. Artificial color and food dyes are chemical substances that were developed to enhance the appearance of food by giving it a pop of color. People have been adding colorings to food for centuries, but the first artificial food colorings were created in 1856 from coal tar. Nowadays, food dyes are made from petroleum. The main reasoning behind the creation of artificial coloring is cost. Synthetic dyes can be mass-produced at a fraction of the cost of gathering and processing materials used to make natural coloring. Here are some examples of the most commonly used FDA-approved artificial colorings and its chemical compound. Continuing the significant challenges, I give you the boon and the bane of artificial coloring, starting with the positive side of it. The boon of artificial colorings is that it makes the food look more appealing and attractive to consumers, especially to children. It masks the absence of brightly colored natural ingredients such as fruit. And it is also much cheaper and have a longer shelf life and are brighter than most natural food colorings. Meanwhile, the bane of it are it increases inflammation and disrupts functioning of the immune system. Also, it contains cancer-causing toxic contaminants. It also may cause cancerous tumor development. Furthermore, some of the most commonly used food dyes are linked to many different forms of cancer. and it also causes hypersensitivity, especially in children. The concern of the passive destruction that we are sleeping on. The FDA defines a color additive as any substance that imparts color to a food, drug, cosmetic, or to the human body. The definition leaves out a very important tidbit. Food dyes are man-made, complex chemicals that were originally made from coal tar, but are now made from petroleum. Petroleum is a crude oil product which is commonly used to also make gasoline, diesel fuel, and asphalt, which is, yes, that sticky black stuff that a driveway is paved with, and plastic. Sounds pretty appetizing, right? Foods commonly contain a mixture of different colored dyes. For example, foods such as cereal, ice cream, candy, and toaster pastries contain all 6 of the most commonly used artificial food colors, which is blue 1, blue 2, red 3, red 40, yellow 5, and yellow 6. Children becomes the pawn of marketing, and it is sickening. Going deeper into the study, we have the satisfying solutions. We ask ourselves, what other choices do we have instead of consuming artificial coloring on a daily basis? One option is to use vegetable and fruit juices. For example, carrots can be juiced to produce a beautiful orange hue, while blueberries will yield a lovely blue shade. Colors are instinctive and ingrained. Writings in review on food colors, Adam Burrows noted that this reaction to the appearance of food are instinctive and have been ingrained in humans through millennia of habit. Color was the most accessible clue. Such inedible items are often blue, black, or purple. Studies show that people lose appetite with blue food dyes, adding that many food manufacturers dealt with the limitation of their palates in an ingenious way. They have kept blue away from real foods and relegated it to the realm of fun, candy, kids cereals, and sport drinks. The third and final solution is towards the parent, because it all starts at home. Choose organic. In the United States, the Department of Agriculture does not allow nor permit the use of artificial coloring in foods that certifies as organic. Limit packaged foods. As mentioned, kids are targeted as market audience towards packaged products. The more colorful it gets, the further away it should be from our children. Read labels carefully. Artificial colors can pop up in the most bizarre products. This includes the drab-colored ones such as dried fruit snacks. Avoid products that list FD&C dyes or the words artificial color on the label. Tell your children, sit together around the dining table, on the living room couch, or even the main bedroom. Have a talk with the tiny versions of ourselves. Point it out which is good and which is bad, especially when fast food advertisements are on the television. Discuss what appeals to them about the particular food. Finally, speak up. Join parents and consumer advocacy groups in petitioning food manufacturers to remove artificial colors from food marketed directly to children. Do not buy nor support food products with these ingredients. The crowd purchasing power matters. The final part of my discussion is the substantial benefits. I will be going over 5 aspects that covers pretty much everything. The first one is health benefits. Cancer. Not only the risk of cancer is reduced, in fact, they are forever gone. Sure, there will always be that 1 in a million chance a tumor grow from a dying cell, but it is a relieving thought that we are actively preventing the worst of the worst outcomes. As the saying goes, prevention is better than cure, and in this case, there might not be one. ADHD. As mentioned, children with or without diagnosed ADHD were proven that their hyperactivity increased when they consume products with artificial colorings. By taking the prevention methods, our children has a higher chance to have a better life moving forward. Sure, ADHD is not the worst types of mental health, but any type should not be a concern of the child nor parent. Second, nature. Ecosystems such as aquatics can thrive better knowing that the artificial coloring industry slowly crumbles to the ground on our own volition. It is not commonly known that they suffer due to food dye effluents just as much as we do. Food dye contaminate the water that we drink. Imagine breathing that through your gills. In addition, education. Parents that are now aware of the advantages and disadvantages of artificial coloring can now teach the next generation. Learn to be more open of this topic and prevent future outcomes that can create negative impacts. On top of that, economy. As the industry of artificial coloring plummet into the ground, farmers can get their worth of pay since we are utilizing them to the fullest. Plants such as vegetables, fruits, and spices are used to not only feed us but also becomes the natural coloring and main source of industries to market on. Children can still be their main audience of marketability without compromising their future by disrupting their mental health. Finally, social. Society in general will be more healthy and happy. This is because there are less reason to be in a saddened mood since there are more and more healthy people. The bond created between neighbors, colleagues, families, and friends are tighter and stronger. In conclusion, artificial coloring is a tough habit to break but doable. Since it has been embedded as a lifestyle, it is a huge step to be taken to ensure that the cycle breaks. We have to ensure that our strive into a better world without artificial color reach its fruition. Our effort will not go unnoticed if enough people put the same energy in. I recommend that we remember what we put in our bodies has a huge effect on our cells, which in turn affects our health and well-being. Do a big favor for your health and choose to put healthy, naturally colored foods in your body, in hopes that we will reach a point of no return, a world with natural, non-harmful color dyes. We have to know what are the choices we have in pursuing a healthier lifestyle and proceed to put it into work. We have to realize that we need to break our instinctive mentality in agreeing what is good and what is bad. We have to ensure that our stance is as strong as an ox and make sure it all starts from our own home. These are the list of references throughout my studies. And finally, appendices that weren't used but were in my drafts. That is all from me. I would like to apologize for any mistakes that I have said along my presentation, and thank you for your attention.